You can still see your own city through the glass. Your phone shows the same local time. Home may be 20 minutes away. Yet the moment you enter an airport, it can feel as though you have already left. Nothing outside has changed. You have not traveled a single mile. So what exactly has the airport removed that makes ordinary life suddenly feel so distant? The feeling arrives so quickly that the building seems to have transported you before the aircraft ever does. The obvious answer is control, but that is only the first layer. Airports can also weaken your sense of place, disturb your sense of time, and quietly change the way you behave around strangers. By the time you reach the gate, the aircraft has not moved, but psychologically you already have, and the process begins earlier than most people realize. Outside the terminal, you can turn around, stop for coffee, take another road, or abandon the trip entirely. Inside, nearly every movement has a correct order. Check in, drop the bag, join the line, present identification, find the gate. Most public buildings offer choices. Airports offer stages, and skipping one can easily make the entire journey fail. That gives simple actions an unusual weight. A missing passport is not a minor inconvenience. A wrong turn is not merely a wrong turn. Every decision is measured against a departure time that will not wait. Before you even reach security, the building has started replacing personal choice with an approved route, and most passengers follow it without consciously noticing. Then comes the clearest boundary between ordinary life and the airport world. You empty your pockets, separate your belongings, remove items of clothing, and allow your possessions to be examined. Things that would feel intrusive almost anywhere else become routine because everyone around you is doing the same thing at the same time. The ritual tells your brain that you are entering somewhere with different rules. Before security, you are still connected to the city. After security, you are airside. The difference may be only a few meters, but returning now costs time and effort. Your suitcase may already be traveling without you. The outside world has become inconvenient to reach. But security alone does not explain the feeling. Hospitals and courthouses also control movement. Airports do something more unusual. They remove the local clues that normally tell you where you are. The city outside has neighborhoods, street names, familiar architecture, traffic, and weather. The terminal replaces them with gates, zones, symbols, arrows, and numbers. That is why one airport can feel strangely similar to another thousands of miles away. The details change, but the grammar remains familiar. Polished floors, glass walls, moving walkways, repeating seats, and overhead signs. The building must guide people who may not know the city or speak the language. It succeeds by becoming understandable almost anywhere. And that success has a side effect. An efficient airport often ends up being easy to navigate without being especially easy to remember. A corridor in one country can blur into a corridor in another. You recognize it instantly as an airport, yet struggle to identify where it is. Smaller regional terminals and strongly local designs can feel different, but the largest international hubs often become familiar as a type of place while remaining strangely placeless. Then the airport begins interfering with time, not by making clocks inaccurate, but by making them unusually important. At home, you rarely calculate every movement against one exact minute. At an airport, nearly everything is organized around a single number, the departure time. Even when nothing is happening, that number remains quietly present in the background. You may have 2 hours to wait and still check the screen every 10 minutes. A gate can change, boarding can begin, a delay can appear, your name might be called. The body sits still, but part of the mind remains switched on, listening for announcements and watching other passengers for the first sign that something has changed. This produces one of the airport's strangest emotional states, boredom mixed with vigilance. Very few places ask people to do almost nothing while remaining ready to move immediately. The waiting is not truly free time because it already belongs to the flight. You cannot use it in quite the same way you would use an ordinary afternoon. Clock time also begins separating from body time. Bright artificial lighting can make late evening resemble midday. Some areas offer no clear view of the sky. Departure boards point towards cities where it is already tomorrow, while newly arrived passengers may still feel as though it is yesterday. The terminal contains many schedules but belongs fully to none of them. Look around an international gate and you can see this confusion made visible. One person is eating breakfast, another is drinking beer. Someone else is brushing their teeth or trying to sleep beneath a jacket. Families dressed for summer sit beside travelers carrying winter coats. Hundreds of private time zones briefly occupy the same physical room. But the deepest shift may be social rather than physical. Airports allow behavior that would feel unusual elsewhere. People sleep on floors, eat alone at strange hours, rearrange clothing in open spaces, and rush past strangers without apology. Nobody finds it remarkable because nobody completely belongs there. Everyone is temporarily displaced and focused on somewhere else. That displacement creates an unusual kind of anonymity. In an ordinary neighborhood, your presence may require an explanation. In an airport, everyone already has one. They are leaving, arriving, or waiting. A person can sit silently for 3 hours and reveal almost nothing about who they are outside the terminal. For a while, destination replaces identity. At the same time, some of life's most private moments happen in full public view. Families separate, couples reunite, parents comfort exhausted children, travelers cry beside people they will never meet. The space is crowded but socially fragmented. You can witness a defining moment in someone's life, then watch that person disappear through a door seconds later. The architecture intensifies the feeling. Airports are built at a scale that can make the individual seem temporary. Gates repeat, seats repeat, corridors lead to more corridors. Thousands of passengers cross spaces designed primarily for capacity, security, and movement rather than personal familiarity. Even your own memories may attach more strongly to the emotion of waiting than to the exact place where you waited. Weather becomes distant too. Rain, heat, and darkness continue outside, but the terminal turns them into scenery. A storm becomes something seen through glass or announced as a delay. Temperature and lighting remain controlled. The airport creates an artificial climate so consistent that the real world outside can begin to feel less immediate than the schedule on the screen. Once place, time, and weather feel less anchored, and you are inside a highly constrained environment with few outside alternatives, ordinary prices and habits can start to feel less solid as well. A coffee, bottle of water, or simple meal may cost far more than it would nearby, yet passengers often accept it with unusual resignation. They are no longer shopping in the city. They are buying inside a highly constrained system where, for many people, convenience tends to outrank comparison. Duty-free prices are not always lower than prices outside the airport. The appeal may come from convenience, perceived tax savings, and the feeling that ordinary purchasing rules have briefly changed. Duty-free stores deepen that suspension, putting perfume, alcohol, and luxury goods right beside passports and departure gates so that, for many travelers, shopping can feel like part of crossing the border. But the airport's deeper power appears at immigration. In almost every other building, walking 10 meters changes only your location. Here, a short walk can change your legal status. On one side, you may still be waiting to enter a country. On the other, after a passport scan and a few questions, you have officially arrived. The distance is tiny. The meaning is enormous. That helps explain why arrivals and departures can hold opposite emotions inside nearly identical architecture. One corridor carries people towards separation, another towards reunion. At night, after shops close and gates empty, the terminal reveals itself more clearly. Cleaning machines cross polished floors beneath lights that never fully switch off. The building remains awake even when almost nobody needs it. Frequent travelers resist that strangeness by building rituals. The same cafe, the same seat, the same security lane, the same route. Familiarity restores a little of what the airport removes. So why does an airport feel like another world before you have traveled anywhere? Because it gradually strips away the anchors of ordinary life. It narrows choice, replaces local landmarks with instructions, turns time into a deadline, weakens privacy, separates weather from experience, and may even place you between two legal states. The aircraft carries your body. The terminal begins the departure much earlier. That is the real trick. The journey begins not at takeoff, but at the moment ordinary life becomes difficult to reach.